concept of image map. So I'm looking at the page number 107 in tutorial 2. It talks about creating an image map. So image map has basically two components. The one is, let me just use this web page as an example. So here we have an image, and we are going to add some hotspots. So as I click on certain spots, so as I move my pointer over, for example here, over tips, and that is a hotspot, and as I click on it, it goes to a linked page, in this case tips. And here from the tips page, I click on photo gallery, click on it, and it links to glossary, glossary.htm. And of course, this big circle over here is a hotspot for the home page. So I click on it, so I'm back to this page. So it's an easy way for a user to navigate your website, and also it's an easier way for you to set up main navigation or any part of the navigation that you want to add into your website. So how does it work? So as I said, it is an image map. It's based on an image. So for example, here is cam shots. That's the preview here. That's the image, and that's the image that I have on this page at the top of the page. So I open that image file in simple graphic application as simple as Microsoft Paint, and that there are other graphic applications, Photoshop and so on. They do have this feature, which is as I point around the image, you can see the bottom left corner here. You will see the coordinates, x, y coordinates of that particular spot. So for example, I'm moving my pointer closer to the middle of a circle, and you can see in the bottom left corner, you can see the coordinates. So let's say I'm trying to make it as close as the way the textbook shows. So x is 82 and y, let's see, got to get in there, 70. Anyway, so you get the point. So that's the center of this circle, and it doesn't obviously it doesn't have to be very precise to the pixel, but close enough that the user would not be confused. So if user clicks on somewhere in the circle, it should be able to link to the page. And so same here, for example, around the tip here, and I move my pointer here, you can see the coordinates, x coordinates. So I'm trying to make it, again, trying to close as the textbook, 235 and 120. Okay, yeah, that's close. So basically around here. And the same thing again, I'm getting the coordinate, xy coordinate of this spot, and then I'm gonna get the xy coordinate around that spot. So I get those xy coordinates, and then using that coordinates, I set up the codes. All right, but before we talk about that, I want to start with something very basic, which is the IMG element. So here's the IMG element, and the source file is camshot.jpg, and we have an alternate text, and then we will have to have this attribute use map, and I'll talk about it in a minute because the textbook talks about it on page number 108 in figure 2-35. And so let me talk about the map element. So that is the, first of all, this image tag, image element, is a one component of image map. So that is responsible for displaying the image. However, with just this image tag, it's not enough for making this image into an image map. So it requires a map element, which contains a few hotspots using area tag. So having said that, let's look at this attribute. So in the map element, we have a name attribute, and the name is logo map, L-O-G-O-M-A-P, and that has to match exactly with the useMap attribute of the image element. So useMap, so image map, img map, displays the image, but it also has an attribute linking using useMap with this, which is LOGO-MAP, same here, LOGO-MAP. So they have to match. Only difference in useMap, so it's kind of confusing. So this is kind of thing that you have to remember. So only difference between this and that is the pound sign. So in the useMap attribute, the value has to start with a pound sign. And then after that, you match that letter by letter with this. So that will effectively link this img tag or element with map element. So that's the link. Here's a name, and here's useMap. And only difference is this pound sign. So you have to start with a pound sign in the useMap attribute value. Okay? And the detail here, the hotspots, you start with an area, you specify the shape. In this case is a circle. So going back to paint here, circle is I want to make this this circle to be hotspot. So I find, let me change the color here, find a coordinate just around here. So that is, according to the textbook, it's about 82, that's x, and 78 y, and the distance here to there is about 80 pixels. So that's how you get this coordinate. So the circle shape, you need x, y of the point and the radius. And the shape for rect, not rectangle, rect is simple xy coordinates of the top left corner and bottom right corner. So here I'm going back here, so that's about 235 x 120 y, and then down here it's about, I'm looking at the codes in the textbook, so that's about 310 and 150. So basically the same thing, I get this coordinate and that coordinate, and that will cover this area. Okay, so that's the rect, that's the top left corner, this is bottom right corner, and so that will link to the tips page, and the third will be for the glossary.htm. Okay, so once you have that, make sure that you save them, save the file, and then refresh it and hover over the area of the hotspots, and you'll see the pointer becomes link. So click on it of course, nothing will change because this hotspot is to link to the home page, which I am already now. But if I click on tips, then I go to tips page. I'm at the tips page. Let's go back home and click on photo gallery. That'll take me to the glossary.htm page. Let me go back to the home page again. So that's done. And again, the key is once you set up all the coordinates or the hotspots, give it a name to the map and then link it with username starting with a # and the same name as the map name, and save it. And let's go to let's say tips, and then I'm going to press Control U. I'm using Firefox, and the developer tool shows the code. So here basically you just need to copy this. Once you test the code and everything's fine, you just copy it, and then you go ahead and open the tips page, and then you replace that with this. Of course, I already have it, but if I were to do it from the beginning, I'll just go ahead and open tips page, open it with Notepad, and just highlight this, and then just simply replace it. In this case, I'm just replacing with the correct, the same HTML code because I already had that. And go ahead and save it, and close it. And then you go to tips page, and then you have hotspots on those coordinates. And do the same thing for glossary page. So that's basically it. And let me know if you have any further question. Okay, thank you.